Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python programming course. We are in the part 7 of this series, and in this lecture I'm going to explain about tuples in Python. This is also one of the most important topics in Python, and yeah, let's get started. So in the previous video we actually learned about lists, which is one of the data structure, and as I said, in this series in the Python we have lists, we have tuples, we have dictionaries, we have sets. So these are the data structures which are present in Python. So now today we are going to discuss about tuples in Python. So as I said in the previous video, a data container stores multiple elements and list is one of the data container. So just like list, tuple is also one type of data container in the Python. So what is the difference between list and a tuple is a tuple also stores the same multiple elements in it, but a tuple is immutable. What does that mean? As in the previous video, we have talked about lists. So let us now create a list which stores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can change this zeroth index element to something like 5. Now if I print down this list, you can see that the first element has changed to 5. It means the list is mutable. That is, the list can be modified, it can be changed. But whereas a tuple is immutable actually, so you cannot actually change the elements of a tuple. So how do we declare a tuple? How do we actually create a tuple? Let's see this. As we know, in the list we use a square brackets like this to create a list, and in the same way we are going to use parenthesis for creating tuples. So let's say create a tuple tpl, and I am going to create open the parenthesis, and I am going to insert the elements. I'm going to write down the elements in this. If I print the type of this, then what I'm going to get? It says class tuple because it is enclosed in parenthesis. So anything which is enclosed in parenthesis is a tuple. But one thing I want to explain is, if I say tpl is equals to 1, and if I print the type of tpl, what will happen? Let's see. It says this is an integer. So why Python considers this as integer is, this is actually treated as integer, but if you want this to be a tuple, why? Because you enclose this in parenthesis. So if at all you want to consider this as a tuple, then you have to keep a comma. So this is considered as tuple with a single element. So a tuple with single element always has a comma after the element. So you should not forget this comma, because if you forget this comma, this will be treated as an integer. But if you keep the comma here, you can see now it is treated as a tuple. So you need to know this difference. So if at all you want to create a tuple with a single element, you have to ensure to keep a comma after the first element or the only element which is present in the tuple. I hope you got this. Now just like list, we have slicing and indexing. So I don't want to spend more time in explaining what is slicing and what is indexing, because I have explained that in strings as well as in lists. So exactly same thing will happen with tuples as well. So suppose if I say this is a tuple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or let's take some more like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is a tuple. Then the first element has index 0 and this has 1, 2, 3, 4. So I hope you got how indexing works. And we can also have negative indexing as well. This is -1, and this element is -2, this is -3, this is -4, and this is -5. So a tuple has positive indexing as well as negative indexing. So I hope you got what is indexing. So if at all you want to access the elements, you can access it with the positive indexing, as well as here you can see with the negative indexing also you can access the elements. So about indexing, I hope it's clear enough. Now let us talk about slicing. You know slicing, if at all you want to actually access only one element, then you are going to use indexing. But if at all I want a part of the tuple, then I am going to use slicing. So if at all I try to print a tuple of 1:3, then what happens? Here you can see 6, it starts because it starts as index 1. So now 6 gets, it started with 6, then 0, 1, 2, 2 gets print that 7 index 2, at index 2 we have 7 gets printed, and we know that if we mention 3 here, only the up to the index preceding it will be get printed. So if at all it's not clear, I think you have missed the slicing part which I explained in the previous videos in the list and uh, strings. So please watch it and come back, so it will be definitely clear. So I hope you got this, what is slicing, and let's try this. So here you can see the list, the tuple has reversed. So I hope you got how to reverse this. I explained this in the previous videos as well. So you can see you can reverse a tuple in this way as well. So I hope you got this. Now, okay, then you may have a question in your mind, like why are we actually using tuples when we have list which does the same thing? Which does the same thing, like storing multiple elements of different data types it might be, or same data types, it can do that. Then why do we actually need tuples? So why we actually need tuples is, so if at all I create a list, as I said, I can change the elements of a list. But if at all now I try to, now this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So if at all I try to change the element or in the first position to something like 8, can I do that? Let's see. No, it says error. That means tuple is immutable, just like string. That means it cannot be changed. Tuple is immutable, it cannot be changed. So I hope you got this. What is immutability? That is the elements of the tuple cannot be changed. You cannot modify them. So I hope you got this. No, tuple is equals to 1, 2. And one more thing is you can actually concatenate tuples, like tuple is equals to tuple plus, let's say 3, 4, 5. Let's see what happens now. And if we print this tuple, let's see. So it's actually working. You may ask the question, then how the tuple has got changed? Here tuple is not being changed. Here the variable itself is being changed here. So the variable is being updated here. So here there is no modification in this tuple. Here the variable itself is being updated with a new value. So I hope you got the difference. Changing a tuple and changing the variable is quite different. So I hope you got this. So tuples are immutable. The elements in a tuple cannot be changed or modified. So I hope you got this, why we use tuples. So whenever we need an ordered elements where the elements cannot be changed, that at that scenario we can use tuples. Suppose we are storing the date of birth of a person. Suppose it is uh, 12/01 2002. Suppose this is a date of birth of a person, we don't want it to be changed. So if at all we don't want it to be changed, then we are going to use a tuple. Why? Because if we are going to use list for the same thing, then the elements can be modified, but I don't want to modify it. So in that case of scenario, I am going to use a tuple. So I hope you got when to use tuple and when to use a list. So I hope you got this. Now let us talk about some more things which we can do on tuples. If I say tuple is equals to tuple star 2, and if I print this tuple, then what happens? Let's see. Here you can see repetition is also possible using this multiplication, whatever this asterisk symbol is there. With that, repetition is also possible in tuples. Now let us talk about I also explained about how to access elements of a tuple with indexing, and I explained about the immutability of tuples. I explained about slicing. I explained that this is one more thing, that different data types can also be stored just like lists. You can have nested tuples, that means a tuple inside a tuple. So if I say tuple is there is one more tuple like this inside this tuple, and you also have 3, 4 and 5, 6. So this is tuple of tuples, like you have a tuples inside a tuple. So that is why it is called nested tuple. Suppose if I want to access the first tuple in the tpl variable, then I am going to use this 0, that refers to the first tuple, and if at all I want to get the first element of the first tuple, then I will choose this 0, because tuple of 0 refers to this tuple, and if at all I want the first element in this, then the index of this will be 0. So again I will keep 0 here. So tuple of 0 will actually refer to this tuple, and one more 0 will refer to this element. Let's print this and let's see. See here you get 1. If at all I want to access the first element, that is 2, then I can write here 1. So what happens? I will get the 2. So I hope you got this, how to access tuple of tuples. You can also have tuple of lists as well. So here you can have many lists inside it. Like this you can have, but now you can actually modify the elements present in the tuple. Why? Because list is mutable. You can change the elements of a list. Here you are not actually changing the tuples. Here you are changing the elements which are present in the tuples. Those are list which are, because they are mutable. So mutable list can be changed. Suppose here you can see tuple of 0 refers to this list, and if I keep the first element, that is 1, 2, 5. Let's print this tuple. What we will see, let's observe it. Here you can see the first element has been changed to 5. So I hope you got this. This is how we create tuple of lists, and they can be list of tuples as well, where in a list we will have multiple tuples. So I hope you got this, how to use nested tuples, and here you can see duplicate values can also be there in the tuples. And now let us try to observe what functions can be applied on tuples. So in a tuple here we can see, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I try to print out the maximum element of the tuple, let's see what it prints. It prints out 5. Okay, I hope you got this function. I explained in the previous videos as well. That's why I'm going fast. So minimum will give out the minimum element, and sort will actually sort the tuple. Sorted function will sort the tuple, and I'll explain it in the later videos. Now, one more thing you have is the only methods of tuple which you have is two methods. In list you have learned many methods. Tuple methods. So what are these tuple methods? You have only two, that is count and index. So what will this count to do? Tuple dot count 1. How many times 1 is present in this tuple? It returns 1. Suppose there are like this. Now what happens? Tuple of dot count 1 will return 2 because there are two ones in the tuple. This is how count method is used. And if at all I use this index method and I want the index of 1, it will return out 0, the first occurrence. Sorry, there is one more parenthesis here. Let's remove it and see. Here you can see index of 1, and that 1 if first occurrence is at 0, so it will give out the 0th position. Suppose if at all 2 is repeated for 2 times, let's say, and if at all I want to know the index of 2, what should be the output? This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So at index this should return 2 for me. Here you can see it gives out 2 because the first occurrence of 2 is at index position 2. So it returns 2 as the output. So I hope you got how to use methods of tuple, that is count and index. So these are the only two methods. So yeah, just learn them and nothing much to remember. And looping through this tuple, I will explain it when I actually explain the loops. And this is membership operators which you normally observed in strings when I explained. So if at all you ask apple in fruits, if apple is present in fruits, it returns out true. Mango in fruits, it returns out false because there is no mango in this tuple. And apple in not in fruits, not in is actually, it says if apple is not in fruits, then what it will return? It will return false because apple is actually present in the list. You are saying apple not in fruits. Not in means it is not there. So apple is actually there in the fruit, so it will return false. So I hope you got this. It looks like basic English, right? So I hope you got this. And now let us understand one more two important things. Like here I have shown that if at all I want to create a tuple, I am using parenthesis and I am creating a tuple. There is one more method to do this. Like I will do normally like this. And if at all I print the type of the TPL, then let's see what happens. It prints out a tuple. So without parenthesis also we can create a tuple, but I would suggest you to please keep the parenthesis for a good programming. So yeah, so if at all you want to create a tuple, you can leave the parenthesis as well and you can create. And now this topic I missed in the list as well, which I want to cover now. That is list unpacking or tuple unpacking. Suppose we have a list LST is equals to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now I want to access individual elements and I want to store them in a variable. Then I can do this by list unpacking. Suppose if I say A comma B comma C is equals to LST and asterisk I would say remaining, so I'm using rem for it. And if at all I print A, so what will happen? A will store the first element, and if at all I store B, then B will store the second element, and if at all I print out C, what will happen? It will print out the third element. And what if I print this rem? This will actually print the entire remaining list. So if at all we want the individual elements to be stored in variables, then I'm going to store them like this. But if at all I want the remaining total list in some variable, then I'm going to use this operator to store the entire remaining list in this. So I hope you got this, what is unpacking in list, and just like that you can do that in tuples as well. Suppose this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if at all I do A comma B comma asterisk C is equals to tuple, let's guess what will be the output if I print A comma B comma C. So if I print A, print B, print C, please guess the output before I actually create run button. So here you can see A will get 1, B will get 2, and remaining all elements will be stored in C. Here you can see, but the unpacked list, what unpacked tuple is actually given as a list. So you keep this in mind, it will actually be a list. So if I actually print the type of C, you can see it is a list. Here you can see it is a list. So I hope you got it. What is list unpacking and tuple unpacking? I want to actually explain that, and I hope you got it. And I explained this, and I explained this as well, immutability, and you have some built-in functions. You can use sum also, sum of numbers that will return the total sum of the elements, 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 30, 60. So I hope you got this. And tuple methods also I actually explained, and you can also have mutable objects just as I explained, and concatenation, repetition. So I hope, so this is all for this video. Tuples is a small topic. If you know list, then this would be easy for you all, because this is not a big topic. Only two methods are there and everything is same as just lists. But one thing to keep in mind is tuples are immutable. That means the elements of a tuple cannot be changed. So this is the only thing which you need to keep in mind while reading tuples. So I hope you like this video. And yeah, before ending this, I want to actually I want you to actually practice this practice questions. Go and actually do them. This will definitely improve your practice and programming skills. So focus on the basics first, and then you can definitely do something big in the future. So basics are the foundation. You have to focus on them a lot. So I think this series is feeling a bit boring because you are not actually creating some good projects, right? So you may feel like that, but trust me, wait for some time, learn all the basics, and yes, I will try to create some videos which will focus on projects. But let me explain conditional statements a bit. So if at all we create conditional, if at all we learn conditional statements and loops, then we can definitely focus on projects and we can create them. So wait until that and definitely practice this all. It will create a good foundation for you. So I hope you like this video, and please subscribe, and if at all there are any changes I should make, then please comment, and I will definitely try to improve myself in every video and produce the best content possible for you all. So thank you.